Morning. We are here today with Colton Smith and Richard Pasinski. Pasinski. Good morning, welcome guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you to accept the invite to be here today talking a little bit with that Brazilian guy. You know, let's talk about jiu-jitsu life and a little bit of MMA, everything. Oh my God.
Uhum.
Uh, Vamos lá, guys.
Tira o microfone. Não vai dar pra
Whatever. I don't need that. Before we start, thank you so much for our sponsor, who support PBJJF, support Jiu-Jitsu, PBS, CRAWLSPACE. If you guys looking for like contractors, CRAWLSPACE work, they are the guys. Okay, Parks Dental Care. If you're in the Baltimore area, need to get a mouth guard, need to fix your teeth. If you don't have a mouth guard, no, and you go spot you broke your teeth, he can fix to you. Parks Dental Care is the guy to help you with that. Okay, Santos Law Firm is the best immigration law company. You know, I work with them. They help me to get legal and all right here in USA. That's a hard thing, man. Like when you come from another country and you don't know the steps to get legal, or you're gonna lose a lot of money, you know, try to get already, or you're gonna get in trouble, you know. And had some law behind myself, it helped me a lot, and now they help our staffs and everybody. I highly recommend some law firm because they work with us, you know. And Brave, if you wanna get like a nice gear, nice hash guard, or if you're a school owner, you can go on their website, put your information there, fill it up the form for like a wholesale, and they get like a good price, and they go minimum order is very short, things like $300-$400 for the wholesale. That's like a lot of geese to use starch, but it's still minimum amount. You know what I mean? It's not much to start. If you just open your school, you want to get the material on your school, go there to this person will buy these geese, and you're gonna have like a little side hustle inside the gate too. You know, it's not about the money every time, but it's good, no help that gives. If without your students go there and buy on Amazon, they buy from you and help the business stay active too. You know, that's important. Good?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Welcome, guys. Good morning. Thank you. How far is the driver?
About a little over 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
You guys nice. I like you guys. Good.
No, it's worth it.
Thank you for coming, man. Guys, get some breakfast before get here.
On the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Cool. And before start, I'd like to know how you guys get on jiu-jitsu. That's my question to everybody at the beginning. I really like to know that history.
So, for me, it was a lot of, when I was in high school, that's when the first UC started coming out, of course, that's when the craze kind of started, with voice Gracie and all that stuff, and, however, didn't have the gyms in the area, kind of where I grew up, do jiu-jitsu, a lot of us were into boxing and stuff like that. Any kind of, we were attracted to any kind of fighting. It was kind of a rough area where I grew up. And then joined the Marine Corps, and that's when the first season of military, things like that, and slowly introduced me to okay, I got stationed at Quantico here in Virginia in 2005, and I saw
But the first combat sports is like the combat or military. You have a sense, yeah.
Yeah, well, I had a couple amateur boxing matches before joining the military. So we were in boxing a lot when we were younger. That was kind of the thing. That's when boxing was
bigger too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
boxing was bigger.
Still big, but like
Right.
very popular at that
Yeah,
time.
it was the top dog at the time. Now I think UFC is But yeah, a couple of boxing matches and the combative military and stuff like that. And then jiu-jitsu and anything.
The students I love when get on my gym, it's easy to teach. Is the people who get in the military before and has access like the combative sport or whatever. It's easy to tell they said that they follow. Just follow rules.
Right.
Easy.
Yeah.
And the Westerners. Because the Westerners, you show the movement, they catch you.
Yeah.
So easy.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they need the whole day. Now, we need to just reach 3 days, man. You can spar yet. Let's go slow. God, they gotta
Yeah.
But that's the easiest student I got ever. That's crazy. With the body, they get the coordination and the touch. It's normal. Don't feel mad guy, but it's normal when you get somebody around 30, 40, whatever, they navigate any sport. You gotta teach them how to walk, how to stand it up. It will be a little bit more steps, but when they know already how to be active, it's kind of really easy. I love the other guys too. And yourself.
Yeah, so mine's a pretty unique story. So I was in Iraq during the surge, which was kind of the deadliest part of the war. This is back 2006, 2007, 2008 timeframe. And I was looking for an outlet while we're in Iraq. We were doing patrols, and I'm an infantryman by trade, still active duty. And going out on patrol and coming back, then having to secure our compound as well. It was a grind. So you didn't have a whole lot of time to do much of anything. However, I did go to a local market and I got some bootleg DVDs. Sorry, Uncle Dana. I got UFC 1 to 43, and I basically got my little portable DVD player. I know I'm aging myself here, but watched UFC 1 to 43. So in my free time, I would watch these DVDs, right? Well, I grew up wrestling, and I grew up scrapping and stuff. I found myself in fights quite a bit, unfortunately, growing up, misspent youth. But watching these DVDs, I had this weird idea, hey, I'm gonna be a fighter,
How old you were at the time?
I was I joined at 17, so that time I was probably 18 or 19, and I started watching I started watching these DVDs, and I went in the front yard of our house in Baghdad. So we took over 3 houses in western Baghdad and put walls around them, had this compound, right? Well, we lived with a couple platoons of Iraqi National Police. Well, some of them wrestled. So I found some of the wrestlers from the Iraqi National Police, and I'd wrestle them in the front yard. Well, then I started watching these DVDs, so I just start choking them, and
okay, I got a neck here.
And I'm in the sand, the dirt, and I'm rolling around this moon dust, and anybody from my platoon or my company that would grapple with me, I'd grapple with them. Big, strong guys, football players, whatever.
Just trying to test itself.
Trying to choke them out, right? And so I kind of I wouldn't say self-taught by any means, but I would try to teach myself, and I told my platoon at the time, I said, hey, listen, and I knew I had UFC 1 to 43, right? So UFC 43, and I said, listen, I'm going to be in UFC 150. And they looked at me like, what are you talking about, bro? Go back on guard, or go back, go burn shit. Because we unfortunately we had to burn our own feces, and get out. I'm young, I'm the youngest, low man on the totem pole, and they're like, you're crazy, get the hell out of here. So I bought a punching bag at the local market too, and I put it up on the chandelier in the house. And we had no power in the house, so it was dark. So people would run into it in the middle of the night. They'd cuss me. They'd get this effing thing out of here, And so I had this punching bag. So I'd wrap my hands and I hit this punching bag. So in my mind, I'm like, bro, I'm a fighter, And it was a rough time. We lost 54 people on that deployment in our brigade. We lost quite a lot of people, unfortunately. So that having that outlet was important to me. Well, fast forward, I get back from that. It was almost it was about 17-month deployment, I think, something like that. And we get back from that deployment, and 7 days later, I find myself in Winchester, Virginia, at a weigh-in for a fight. Mario and Fernando Yamasaki had a fight series here in Virginia that was called Gladiator Fight Club, GFC. And this is back January 2008. And I just got back from Iraq. 7 days later, I found myself at a weigh-in with my dad and a boxing coach from Winchester, actually, Scott.
I met 7 days before.
Scott Farmer. Yeah, a boxing coach. Yeah, seriously. No, seriously. Yeah, a boxing coach, Scott Farmer. So I'm at a weigh-in, but I'm not fighting. All right. So I go to this weigh-in. Well, check this out. So Fernando and Mario crawl out to the crowd, and they're like, "Hey, we have a fighter that didn't show up, and this kid came from West Virginia to fight." The guy's name was Rob Wine. Came from West Virginia to fight. Is there any fighters in the crowd? At this point, I'm underage drinking in this bar. I'm drinking, I'm probably 2 or 3 beers deep, and I just get back from deployment, so I'm a lightweight, But I was all yoked up. I was lifting a lot of weights over there, and I was, little DVDs and stuff like that. And so my dad looks at me, and he's like, "Hey, what about you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what about?" I'll raise my hand. I shoot my hand up, and Fernando Yamasaki, and it was funny is we weren't in the fighter group. I was actually back in like by the bar, and like everyone cranks their heads and turn around, and he can barely see me because they had a nice production. They had like lights on the on the stage, and he's like, "Are you even a fighter?" and I'm like, and I was like, I probably said something, like, "Fuck yeah, I'm a fighter, I'm a fighter." And he's like, "All right, get up here." So I went up there. I was the only one not like in fight clothes. I take off my jeans or whatever. I get on the scale and I'm overweight. I'm like 194 or something like that, 195. And so I'm like 9 or 10 pounds over the weight limit. And the guy and his dad that was up on the stage were like, "Hey, if you cut some weight, we'll take the fight." So there I am in January in Winchester in a bar, and I'm running laps inside the bar, and then I lay down in the bathroom and have them put Carhartt jackets over me, and I'm cutting weight. I cut 4 or 5 pounds in a short time, and I wrestled growing up, so I know how to cut. I knew how to suck some weight, and get on the scale, and I'm 5 or 6 pounds over. They take the fight. Well, that night I go back to my dad's house, and I MySpace this guy. So MySpace, I'm kind of aging myself there, but I MySpace this Rob Wine character, and I'm like, holy crap! His MySpace, he had like music, and he had him kicking pads, and he's done Muay Thai fights, and I'm like, oh man, like I'm in it,
I'm in a real fight now with the real guy.
and I'm, and in Virginia, it's full pro rules for MMA for amateurs. So like elbows, reinforced knees. There's no difference. Just the time. Just the time.
3 minutes. Yeah.
3 minutes. Yeah, 3-minute rounds. Yeah, 2 minutes different per. So I'm the first fight of the night, and they put on a big production. This Gladiator Fight Club was at the ABC Sports Complex in Winchester. It's on an ice rink, but it's actually a pretty large, and they had a big cube that had, video, and they pulled out all the stops. One of the nicer shows I've ever seen for lower level, amateurs and pros. And I'm the first fight of the night, and I remember, I didn't know my dad growing up. I came from kind of a, misspent youth. My mom raised me, so this was me kind of like first time ever connecting with my father, to be honest. He was kind of not to get too deep, So my dad's like, my dad was a boxer growing up. He's a pro boxer back in the day in this area, actually. And he's like, "Hey, listen, you haven't really trained for this." He's like, just sit down, relax, get warmed up, but don't like exert yourself too much. And he's like, hands up, chin down, hands up, chin down. And if you watch the video, I have the DVD. I'm like in a modified wrestling stance with my fist doubled up. It's the most awkward stance ever.
Hands up here.
Yeah, and my opponent was a real tall guy, and he was smirking like he knew he was about to wax me. Well, the fight starts, and he just like casually walks up in like a big standing like Muay Thai stance, real traditional Muay Thai stance, and comes over across the cage and throws a thunderous head kick. Well, at the same time, I switched my stance because I even though I knew I was right-handed. I was fighting, as an orthodox fighter. Growing up, I always wrestled right foot lead. So while he threw that monstrous,
grapple in one side.
Yeah,
yeah,
right. So as he's throwing this monstrous head kick, I close my eyes and I switch my stance and I just shoot. Luckily, he barely missed my head, and I got his back, picked him up, slammed him, and knocked him out in like 50 seconds of the first round. If that wouldn't have happened, because in my head, leading up to that, I'm like, man, I'm going to be in UFC 150. I don't know why, but that was my prophecy, was I'm going to be in UFC 150.
Visualize, man. I tell you all the time.
So
visualize.
That's it.
Happen.
So that's how. So I fought before I ever did jiu-jitsu, which is kind of strange, right? Usually you don't do that. So ended up knocking that guy out, and then I realized how much I didn't know after I was watching his MySpace videos and watching the rest of the fights that night in live. I was like, holy crap! I have a steep learning curve. Yes, I wrestled. Yes, I'm not afraid to get in the cage. But I better. Yeah. So when I got back to my unit, so I was on post deployment leave there. I flew back to my unit. I had this DVD. They gave us DVDs almost on the spot. It was a really good promotion. I brought my DVD into work that day. When I got back and I put it into my chain of commands like computer, and all the leadership there was watching it. They're like, "You can't just fight, bro. Like, what do you do?" You're
like, I did it, man.
You're a soul. Like, I was all so excited to show them, and they're like, "You can't just do this. What are you doing?" Well, from that point forward, I found a school hole in the wall school in El Paso, like pretty bad area in El Paso. A Helson Gracie school at the time, a guy named DJ Blackwell, and I showed up there. These guys kicked my ass. Like when I showed up, I was kind of cocky. I was like, I'm already undefeated fighter, man. You know, I'm good to go. And I showed up, and these guys were just junkyard dogs, man. It's the only way to explain them. Every single person in there was so tough. By the end of practice, I couldn't take people down anymore.
Like back in the days, like that, you know, man. There's not more to
Oh, no. And, you know, I came in with a chip on my shoulder probably. So, like, I was a big, strong wrestler, undefeated fighter, and my, you know, self-proclaimed. Well, they like asked me, "You ever train?" I'm like, you know, I'm undefeated fighter. You know, well, in the beginning of practice, I was taking people down, but then I was getting arm barred, I was getting choked, whatever. By the end of practice, I was so frustrated. Everybody, I mean, these guys were these old men were taking me down, beating the crap out of me, but I was hooked. So from that point forward, before work, you know, middle of work, after work, I would sneak off post, I would go train, and I was just hooked with this, and you know. And I owe that man a lot. Dossie Jerome Blackwell, he was, again, he's under Helson. He was a brown belt for life. He's a black belt now, but he's a brown belt for life for a very long time for whatever politics. But I owe him a lot. If it wasn't for him allowing me to come train and getting beat up by him and all those guys in El Paso, I don't know where I'd be, to be honest with you, as far as my jiu-jitsu journey goes. But yeah, and then in the military, unfortunately, we move around a lot. So my journey's taken me to different lineages and stuff like that. And you know the deal with jiu-jitsu. There's a lot of crazy politics involved in jiu-jitsu, but it's given me something that I've not only has changed the trajectory of my life, but it's also changed the trajectory of all my students' lives and people that I've been able to touch on you know, on deployments and different places.
A lot of connection too, man.
No, for real.
Yeah.
But back on that prophecy of the UFC 150 thing, I told my platoon UFC 150. I was probably in the UFC Ultimate Fighter around UFC 155, I'd assume. And then I won the show, and then I fought on Robert Whitaker, former middleweight champion of the world. I fought him on pay-per-view, UFC 160. What's crazy is, like, I can't stress that enough, though. Like, if you truly believe something in your heart, and even looking back, I'm like, you're insane, bro. Like, who would ever, if one of my students came to me today and was like, I'm going to be in UFC 300 or 350 or whatever, I'm like, you better get to effing training, bro. Like, I don't think you're going to be doing anything. Like this, and I'd probably tell Rich, like, Rich, you won't believe what this nerd just told me. You know?
There's guys coming all the time. I want to fight the UFC, man. I can do it. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. And we're like, all right, let's start off with a jiu-jitsu class, and then they get just balled up all day in jiu-jitsu class.
And most of the guys come to stop, you know, they don't.
Yeah, it's you know, so they have, some people have delusions of grandeur, or they're like big and strong, or maybe they did a certain sport, or and they come in and it's frustrating. They can't take that because they do have a competitive mindset. But yeah, I mean, and I try to do my best I can. Like, something we like to pride ourselves with our jiu-jitsu journey, because we have you know, been in different affiliations and stuff like that. We've been able to each individual person that comes to us, we want to know what their goals and ambitions are with jiu-jitsu. Are you here because of occupational reasons? Are you a police officer? Are you a military member? Are you a federal agent? Okay, so you're in this pool over here. Are you with us because you want to be a world champion? You want to be a competitor? You're in this pool right here. Are you here because you want camaraderie and you want to get in shape and you want some togetherness and brotherhood? So that's kind of like the three pools.
I asked you, why bring it then on jiu-jitsu in the first class to try get these? You know, like, you get on my school first class.
Yeah.
I'll ask, hey, Jorge, my name is Max. How we get here? First, I want to know how they know my school. You know,
right.
Google, Facebook, word of mouth, to see like if my investments on marketing will work or not. You know, and after, why he chooses it. You know, and then like I can pick it, you know, put him on the right group. So I like that. That's important. Because maybe if you treat the guy like a world champ, whatever, he will be the toughest guy in the area, and he don't want that. Maybe he just want the community. He want to get in shape, or maybe like some self-defense. Now, before I was teaching, when I get to the USA, I don't know how to teach normal groups, because in Brazil I always only teach like competition team.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I get here, I'm get like the guy on the mat, like 45 years old, never training, come just for like healthy.
Yeah.
And then start like, okay, Dorian, 1 minute, man, can I kill this guy? And then I start learning like different ways. I always hated self-defense, but now I love it. that's like how to get people connected
Yeah.
with jiu-jitsu. Eventually they do jiu-jitsu like everyone, you know what I mean? But like especially my guys and ladies, you know, a little bit older, they never train or whatever. When they get in school, I say like 2 times a week you get the self-defense class, blah blah blah. We talk like explain a little bit about the like realistic situation, you know. I always like, okay, you're in the parking lot, the guy put the hand on your baggy bone, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, sure, and these make they get excited and come back.
Yeah.
And eventually they start to do like
Yeah.
close guard submissions and like everybody, you know.
And I think it's very important. Something that we touch on all the time that I think, unfortunately, not all schools do, but we'll be in the middle of teaching. It's like, okay, for sport jiu-jitsu purposes, this is what you're going to do. However, self-defense, God forbid, survival scenario or MMA, this is absolutely not what you're going to do. You're going to do this instead. Kind of show both sides of it, just so they're aware that you know, there's vulnerabilities under different circumstances that you got to be aware of. That you're not in a survival situation and you're doing something that
Inverted guard.
yeah.
I'm doing donkey guard now.
I really believe, man, if you don't repeat, you're not gonna be able to do. You
Yeah.
gotta drill, you know. And like even like whatever, a block, punch, then I mean, feel like you never did on your life. They go, go try to punch, you go pull guard, man. That's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta like minimal know how to fight with the fight distance. And then I'll be like, I don't wanna fight too. Okay, I will be a little bit far away than you. Then I mean, when you walk, man, then I gotta be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some black belts today are.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't know how to act in a fight situation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you're right.
And that's danger for the art. I think so.
Oh, yeah.
We need to like keep these alive. You know what I mean? Back in the day, man, all the black belts was testing on Vale Tudo.
Yeah.
Everyone, you gotta fight for the art. You gotta
Yep.
prove jiu-jitsu is better than everything. They fight for nothing. You know what I mean? Look what this guy did. But like now, can't pull guard, do my big ball. I like the evolution on technique, but I feel we need to, especially beginners fight, whites and blue belt. Man, we need to know how to fight in the distance, block a punch, you know, shoot under the punch.
That's right.
People can do jiu-jitsu for years now and never get punched in the face or know what it is to get punched in the face. And I think that's just a huge important aspect to like, how is your jiu-jitsu when, you know, under different circumstances, when someone's trying to punch you, when someone's trying to kick you, when someone's got you in these vulnerable positions where in sport jiu-jitsu you can be very comfortable and kind of laid back. Oh, I'm good here. It's always on our mind is, hey, yes, I'm doing sport jiu-jitsu right now. This is great. However, if this was a self-defense scenario, I may be in a lot of trouble. So I think it's just important to be self-aware.
Yeah, the realistic application of what we do, you know, how that translates, and especially in this world we live in. Man, I don't care where you live. I don't care if it's the nicest place in America. You never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what you might walk out to. And it may not be thriving. It may not be winning the fight.
But
Surviving,
yeah.
yes. That there's something to be said about that. Like I look at some of these, and I'm not picking on. Well, I will pick on it. There's some self-defense workshops some martial arts will do that are like, hey, come check out my 3-hour women's self-defense block of instruction, and I will teach you how to beat up Max Gimenis.
They're not.
No.
Before we call it a woman, man, I'm 265 pounds.
Brother.
I'm a big guy, man. Even I don't know jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then I mean, it's a big boy. You try to grab a
Bro, I can know
woman or a
jujitsu,
guy.
and if you didn't know, I'm gonna be in a fight, and I'm a trained fighter. I'm 190 pounds, but a 260 pound man is a 260 pound man, regardless. You know, so I look at some of those workshops, stuff like that. They give people false sense of security, unfortunately. And then, you know, I try to always bring that back in my gym, in our gym, like whenever we instruct, is like, hey, I may not be able to teach you as a 100-pound woman or 100-pound man how to win the fight, but I damn sure hope that I can teach you how to survive the fight long enough till someone comes. And that is I'm not selling wolf tickets. I'm selling truth there. And it may be a gut punch to some people. It may be a gut punch. I mean, I'm a 190-pound man, but if I'm getting beat up by a couple 200+ dudes, I mean, I may not win that fight, but I'm probably gonna survive that fight.
I tell the one, sometimes you just need to be confident enough to yell. Because if you don't, you'll never get on this stressful scenario. You just go accept the bully or the pressure and everything, you know. But if you get exposed daily on jiu-jitsu, get in a match,
that's right.
like fight with a big girl or guy, you know what I mean? When the things happen, your survival attention will be better, you know, and you're gonna be able to run because you're more active. You're gonna be able to yell. You're gonna be able to sometimes just blocking the attacker, you know. Okay, hey, stop. And they got like, oh shit, not scared, man.
Exactly.
Boom,
yeah.
They run away.
That's right.
That can change a lot of scenarios. My wife trained too. She was a blue belt, and I tell on the class sometimes, man, like when I go fill it up my gas tank, man, doesn't matter. I stop in the gas station like anytime, midnight, 1 a.m., 3 a.m., whatever. My wife always tell her, like during the day, if you feel like your gas going low, fill it up already during the day. Don't wait to do like after at night time, you know, when it's nobody in the gas station. Like when you park on the lights spots, you know. Some things like we talk on the class, especially these fundamentals and self-defense. I think maybe will prevent the attack.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. It's that mindset.
Yeah.
It's that mindset shift
alert.
for sure.
Yeah.
Fight
alert, stay composed.
Yeah.
When normally, that's a big thing, just composure. If you train long enough, you learn how to get comfortable in uncomfortable situations, stay composed, God forbid if you're in a survival scenario where you're not otherwise just panicking
In the confidence associated with training regularly, being physically, mentally, emotionally strong, and then the confidence you gain from consecutive trainings, I feel like you carry yourself differently. And I can tell you, I fought so much more before I knew how to fight. I thought growing up, I thought I was bad. I really did. It was funny. But after I learned how to fight, I realized, man, there's some tough MFers in this world, and I didn't feel like I needed to prove myself. So
after you like this,
there's only been twice.
And probably you tired too, by the train. You're like, oh, there's somebody like, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna fight you.
I mean, 2 major times I've ever fought outside of like sanctioned fighting since I started fighting. Since that January 2008, 2 times I fought outside of like a cage or something in like a self-defense situation. Not in combat, but like stateside, like actually like scrap on the street. And I don't want to. I'm the guy I'll buy. Oh, yep, you're bad. I'll buy you a beer. Here you go. You're better than. Yep, you beat me up. I know.
Like, I feel like sometimes when you feel like a professional fighter, you was thinking different. Like, man, I fought in the bar. Imagine I punch this guy in the face and broke my hand. Be like, you are month without training. Or
I bludgeon this dude and he sues me because I'm a trained fighter, and now I'm in a civil suit for a year and a half, and that is not something anybody wants. No,
but people need more education too, man. Traffic that now I'm like way more relaxed now too. I'm on my 30s. I feel like but like one of these days I lost a lot of my. I'm ready to fight this dude. I'm on the parking. Goes forward, and the guy come in and I stop. I see him. Boom, stop. He come in, he passes like look at me in my eye. And his fingers. I'm like, nothing happened, man. What happened? I follow him in the bottom line. He like get it on the front. Like, Thank you for proving that we don't have it. But look, but I hope you don't have that.
Yeah.
None of that. The kind of like flipping.
Ignorance is bliss. You never know. What's in homeboy's fanny pack? You know what I mean? Oh yeah. It's realistic, yeah. Perfect storm of emotions does set people off. Yeah, you don't want that. I spent a lot of, I was in court for a long time for a fight I hadn't lived with two guys too, on my property. And it's been a while. Luckily, I was all good. Got all cleared. Yeah, that was a scary time. You could see being in the military, you get in trouble outside of the military, and get in trouble inside the military. You're really double checking. So it's one of those things where my life is married. What's it with? Yeah, guys, bad stuff. But at what cost? If I would tell them that, yeah, probably. At the time, I thought, I probably could tell them there, but one of them assaulted my sister, and yeah, it was bad though. I bellied it back suplex and beat on the top. What happened? He threw my sister down. He's a big guy, big Russian dude. I bellied it back suplex and this is that Halloween party. I was dressed up. He was dressed up. This party was dressed up. What's crazy was though, so as soon as I did it, I looked around and there were 30 people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can kill this guy. So I get over there and I smacked him and he woke up. Well, the neighbor called the cops. And the cops came. They actually took those two guys away. So I was fine. The cops were like, "You want to get charges?" And I'm like, "No, it's fine." I told them to leave. They wouldn't leave. They threw my sister down. It was kind of like this crazy chaos. And so then a couple days later, they sworn a warrant to the magistrate's office. The magistrate's office, it all fell back in out, obviously. The circumstances surrounding it. And then they cried foul. Well, what was crazy was, like, when I just got back from Iraq, and I heard a different story at that time, and I was kind of, I was hiking, so it was like hiking and stuff like that, and it was crazy, like, party. We didn't know what we were friends and friends and friends and friends, and they were doing some crazy stuff in the house, and pot and food, and real close friends, and they tried to get back in the house, so I don't know what they were looking at night, that's in my head. They're going to try to, why are they trying to get back in my house? And that's kind of when it all blew up. But the cops were really cool, and that was a mistake on my part. I probably should have started it straight. They ended up being able to walk into the magistrate's office, and they're all beat up. Both of them were mangled, all beat up, and they were able to go swear in a warrant to the magistrate. The magistrate came out and tried to, or the police came and charged me, and I had to get a lawyer and so much money for all these, and I knew it would get thrown out. Yeah. And I was like, okay, it's going to be a civil suit now. Maybe they're get a lawyer and try to sue me for some money. Luckily, I was broke at the time. I didn't have any money, so good luck trying to get some money from me. But that's what was in the back of my mind. Anytime I see somebody like heightened, pissed off, something happens, I believe I was in the right back then when that happened. Is this worth it? Probably not. I don't want to spend the next year or two, fighting over my innocence. That, and also I think I'm a lot calmer nowadays where it's like, hey bro, you have to get tough, I'll buy you a beer, or even if my friends are like, something like that happen, I'll try to separate it. You have to do that, you have to do this, take names, get out of here. But yeah, just different priorities in life nowadays. I'm trying to be on a hotbed. Yeah, it worked out. Yeah, we were teaching on all the motor installations, and again, I was stationed at the Pentagon at the time. Yeah. Yeah, we had mutual friends. Topaz Navarro was a mutual friend that I served with. Topaz, yeah. Yeah, Topaz, where you at, man? Get on the map, bro. Get on the map, Topaz. That black belt's getting dusty. Hey, the blue belts do that, not black belts, Tope. No, so yeah, I was teaching at the Pentagon, the base of the Pentagon, and then I was teaching at Quantico in the evenings. And just literally not for any money, like that. I was just doing it because I wanted to be able to train, but I was still active duty. Yeah, and I loved it. And to be completely fair and transparent, there were some local gyms in the area outside of Quantico that didn't like that we were teaching for free on Quantico. You gotta understand that the population we were teaching to were student populations in the military, so they were coming in and out every 6 months, 9 months. So they weren't permanent. They weren't staying there. So it wasn't like, so I didn't see it as I was hurting the jiu-jitsu economy in the area. Unfortunately, the kind of, yeah, because it's only it's only 2 days a week we were teaching that there. Then I was teaching multiple days at the Pentagon, and then we would teach in the daytime during the week at Belvoir, but I was teaching on the weekend at Belvoir as well. We would have open mat there. And yeah, so I mean, it kind of forced our hand, and we were kind of like, you know what, why don't we open up something? So we opened up our gym, and us still being, he was working full time for the government, I'm working, active duty still, and we opened up, and it's like, conventional wisdom would tell you, you can't do that. You got a wife, you got kids, you got all this stuff, and so we decided to do it, jump in head first in the gym, and it was 2 weeks before COVID.
Right. We opened literally 2 weeks before COVID. Oh my God. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to have our grand opening because we were sublet Taekwondo school, and the owner was paranoid about it, and I was like, we got to at least get this open. Once the opening's done, we could ride out the COVID storm, but the timing was interesting, but we managed to somehow.
Good, you guys get through on that.
Yeah.
A lot of people
It actually blew up.
holes and
Yeah, I felt bad for a lot of people. So I know a lot of my buddies around the country had shut down, and their landlords weren't working with them, so they had to literally shut down for good. It's sad.
And honestly, probably what saved us was those relationships we built in the military community, because we had a lot of guys who, when we opened up the school, they were coming to train with you, and it built that relationship in the community where, when we did get back up and running regularly, people were, that spreads like wildfire on a military base. So, I think that helped us big time when it came out.
Actually, I think the mic it glitch a little bit.
Yeah.
Just put another one to see if it get
Gotcha.
better.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I feel like. Yeah. We actually blew up kind of during that time, which was wild because we did a bunch of.
You guys get the backdoor trade.
Well,
I did a lot.
Oh yeah.
We call it the Jiu-Jitsu Speakeasy of Northern Virginia. We would we had a couple locations, but honestly, we would put out digital content for our students that didn't feel comfortable coming to training. We would also, in my garage, in his basement, if people wanted to come train, we let them. Obviously, we gave that opening, but if they didn't want to, we had digital media stuff for them. And if they wanted to cancel their memberships, we obviously canceled their memberships. We didn't have a choice.
But a lot of, on the COVID time, I was in the ground control. A lot of the members, man, they still pay support.
Which says a lot about what kind of togetherness we build in the jiu-jitsu community because I felt almost guilty. Some of the students that weren't coming or weren't getting the digital content, they were still paying, and we even to this day. We reach out to people like, hey, we haven't seen you in a few months. You're still paying membership. Are you still part of the gym? Oh yeah. I still want to support you guys. Whereas like you look at like Gold's Gym, you look at always like lifting gyms. These annual memberships is how they stay open. people in January, Gold's Gym gets flooded in January. Everyone signs.
Man,
there's 1,000 members.
Your membership and show up 2 times a year.
Exactly, and it's just like a normal reoccurring fee that they have on their account, and they don't care. They keep this membership open, and then it gets
But jiu-jitsu is a little bit higher.
No, it is price point.
Price point.
It is, but it's interesting to me though. Like it's hard. My heart of hearts, it's hard for me not to be like, hey man, I know you're paying X amount of money a month. You haven't showed up in.
Just show up, man.
Yeah.
You pay away.
We don't want to charge you if you're not training.
I don't want to keep. Yeah, I don't want to keep. And I know I got to keep the doors open. Like he and I are. We are, like we talked about, we're very personable with our clients and stuff to find out what their goals are and who they are and how, if they have issues, we'll work with them and stuff. And maybe not be the best business model to have for a gym, but I feel like that's probably why we're growing the way we.
Yeah.
Like that way, man, you get people stick it to forever. Because they love you.
Take care of him.
Yeah, you take care of him. Like, man, he just for the money, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. They want to be part. They want to.
We got guys tattooing our logo on themselves. You know, like our logos. Synonymous.
The logo is nice.
It's going everywhere. Yeah, it's everywhere. I got it tattooed on myself, so if I fail, I can look at the failure every day. But I got the whole leg on there, and he has it on his shoulder.
Yeah,
but
cool. Wait, I have my logo here too.
There you go. Blood in, blood out. Though, if he ever decides to go anywhere, I'm gonna have to cut that thing off. Yeah.
But also about the tattoo, I saw you did a nice jiu-jitsu tattoo on the arm.
Thank you. Yeah, it's almost done. I'm getting there, putting it together. But yeah, jiu-jitsu themed. I just, obviously it's a big part of our lives, and so yeah, I'm enjoying doing it.
If that was on Max's arm, it'd be like 5 times the price because of how small your arm is.
True, that's true, yeah. His guns are a little bigger.
I closed my things over here in Brazil, a couple weeks ago, but the guy never see me. I just talk to him on the internet, blah blah blah. And when I get there, he look at me, and I was in Brazil. I get bigger, fast. I eat all my mom food all the time, And he like, hey, bro, you big, man. I should price it a little bit higher.
more
and now it's done, man. I'll pay already before we start to go back. But yeah, this guy did my arm just outside, he tattooed my whole arm in 3 hours and a half. He stopped to smoke 3 times. I'm like, man,
that's crazy.
And he did a good job. That's it. He started. I'm like, man,
probably nervous. He's going so fast.
I'm going so fast. I don't think.
What's it gonna look like?
But at the end, look very good. I'm like, thanks God. But he like famous in Brazil. I think he get more people doing tattoo with him because the faster work he do. But man, when you tattoo like a larger thing. You wanted that shit finish it fast.
Right. Well, they could probably take their time and draw it out, and it'd be more expensive even too. Some people charge that way, so it's like
on time.
Yeah. So it's good to see somebody who's not messing around. They're just getting
the work done fast. Yeah, that's cool. And what was we talking about before? Talking the tattoo, man.
About COVID.
About the COVID, yeah. About Topaz show up and don't train anymore. Get the black belt in quick.
Topaz who?
Yeah. he live close to him. I told him like, hey man, stop by one day.
We were talking to him through text in the lobby, and he's like, yeah, tell Max and them guys I said hello and I miss them and all that good stuff.
He's down in Virginia today though.
Yeah,
he splits time between Virginia and here, I guess. Now.
Yeah.
He's got his his woman and tied down. So. Yeah.
He train a lot too. So I get him, man. He wants like my best partner trainer. I love training with him. So I get
when he's in shape, he is good. He's long and rangy. He gets his grip going.
Boards,
yes.
And he come a lot on the noon class, but that's was the best class to I trained too that time. It's more advanced people.
Yeah.
And I train man every time he on the mat and do 2-3 rounds with him.
Yeah.
and because for a while I just get prepared to compete with my students. When I moved to Maryland here, I don't have a competition team to train or whatever. Yeah. And I was train with my students, and I said, "Hey guys, show up and no, please. I need you guys body." They try poor guys by pushing hard the class, focus a lot on myself too on this noon class. But it's good to have that class too, because at night I can focus on the white belts, focus on the beginner guys, you know. But also I push these guys to train hard too, because they keep motivated. Feel like motivate the higher belts, get on the match, go hard the next day.
Oh yeah,
I gotta come back, man. I gotta beat this guy. We have this mindset. Help competition through that. Like I learning how to train doing specific rounds. Because like in Brazil, I never need to think about that because I feel every situation every time. Because we get people on the GF team match, man, I get that like maybe 30 black belts to train, 40 black belts on the mat on the competition team. You know, we don't need to even think, man. I think I need to work on my back escape.
Right.
Somebody go take my back
Right.
on the week for sure. Yeah, like somebody gonna mount you.
Yeah.
But when you train with your students, you don't have that.
You gotta get creative.
You got to create, you know, and they start to do a lot of specific. Okay, guys, this week could be back specific. Boom, a lot of rounds start on the back. Boom, boom. Then next week, mount, half guard. And they start putting on situations that I hate it to be, and eventually be good, you know. And I think I make it work, you know. Get second in the world training with like 45 years old, brown belt, 50 years old black belt, you know, 35 years, like get 2 Pan Ams on that time until I think make it work, you know. Now I believe drill, that's what I believe, man, to make killers, drill and specific rounds. That's gonna make like and you don't need much body to work. Maybe 4 or 5 guys. You go get good. You just need to hard work.
Absolutely.
And a little bit about the MMA, man. Let's back a little bit that. And you get on that jiu-jitsu school and you start like that's kind of like MMA school, or it's like more a jiu-jitsu?
No, it was jiu-jitsu. So it was definitely jiu-jitsu. They had some guys there that were some kickboxers, and they had some wrestlers, some judo players, but it was strictly jiu-jitsu school. In fact, we had like carpet. You know, I mean, this is kind of, you know, it was the mean streets of El Paso. It was kind of a rough place in El Paso, but like, I'll tell you what, man, it just that style of jiu-jitsu they had, it was mean, it was gritty. I mean, everybody, I'm telling you, every single person there was tough. You leave there with shiners and stuff like that. So it wasn't really like polished or refined, which I liked, because coming from a wrestling background, I was definitely used to like, you know, just like head banging, a lot of hand fighting, head fighting, and they had that style. So it was a really unique group, and it was small. I mean, it was maybe 800 square feet. I mean, it was as soon as you walked in.
Like for matches or like for everything?
I mean, there was no. I don't even know if they had a bathroom there. I think we had to use a 7-Eleven.
You open the door, jump in the mat.
No, honestly, yeah. And I mean, it was like, and they had a little bit of glass in the front that would always be it was always fogged over. But the instructor literally had to kick me and a couple of guys out like every night. He's like, "Hey, you got to leave, guys.
I gotta go home, man."
Yeah, I got to go home. And but that group of guys, and there was actually a gym across town that actually probably was more of an MMA gym across town. And it was nicer. They had the nice facility. They had all the instructors, but I felt connected to this group. And also, I don't know if I was paying. I might not have been. You know, I was I had no money back then. I was young private, but that I'd say that. And I say it to this day, like, and I post every now and then about that group of people, and every now and then I'll reach out to one of them or I'll see them somewhere. That group of people, man, they definitely made me who I am today, and made me believe in myself, you know, about being able to make it on the big stage eventually, and while still being active duty military, while still being a father, and everything that. So they gave me a belief in myself, I think, when it came to that. Even though they all beat the crap out of me for a long time, I was like there, and I was a little mouthy. I was probably a little mouthy teenager, so they, you know, 19-year-old or whatever, But yeah, so still to this day, I'll still stay in contact with them, and if I'm ever in El Paso, a lot of them are still there, so I'll go see them.
And when the second fight happened?
The second fight happened. It had to have been.
Sorry, that first fight is amateur,
Amateur, yeah. So I did like 5 or 6 more amateur fights in Virginia. Actually, I ended up getting stationed in Virginia right after that. And I fought for what used to be called Operation Octagon. It's Cagezilla now, but I fought for them for the rest of my amateur fights.
They do a lot of events locally.
They
too.
do. Yeah, they do kickboxing events as well.
They run well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the owner, the promoter owns the building, so it's a really nice venue in Manassas, and our guys actually fight there, so it's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
the same organization that I grew up fighting in,
Nice.
our guys
Now
fight
your
for the
guys fight.
same
That's cool.
promoter. So I've been dealing with the same promoter for almost 20
That's
years.
awesome, man. The connection too is good
Yeah.
for your fighters.
Which
you
is
know,
great.
like
Yeah.
you get somebody where you
And
like
it's a
know
good
when
show.
they can.
And you look at that show. There's been a lot of UFC fighters come out of that show. It's the longest running promotion in the DMV. I think they've had 75 shows. We just had the 75th show. We had a guy fight on
But
it.
they doing pro too, or only?
They've done pro.
amateur?
They sprinkle pro in there.
Yeah.
They'll do a pro card.
Yeah.
But yeah, myself, I grew up fighting on it. I had, so after that fight, I went on like a 5-fight win streak. Choked everyone out in the first round, but I still wasn't very good. Like, I look back on that.
But a lot of heart, like go down.
I would just go. I like tunnel vision. I just go straight in, take them down, choke them out. Like, that was just my MO.
No, look
And
like
I choked everyone out. Yeah, yeah. It was just like a quick rear naked choke, and that was it. That's all I had.
That's what I tried doing.
That's it. Tunnel vision, come in and take them down. Yeah, that's it. Don't let them up. They never get up, And yeah, so I did that, and then I actually went up a weight class and fought one of the other champions, and I actually got my first amateur defeat. So I think I was 7-1 or 6-1 as an amateur when I went pro, and I got my first amateur defeat. And what was crazy about the fight was it was a split decision. Me and the other champion fought each other. I went up a weight class, and I ended up losing a split decision, and it was a bloody fight. We were both wrestlers. We stood across the cage from each other and just beat the crap out of each other for 5 rounds. And it was the wild part was he was undefeated as well. So we were both undefeated going into it, and I beat him, or he ended up beating me by split decision, and he never fought again. He quit fighting after that. And he was all beat up, cut up. I was all beat up, cut up.
Like, oh my God, that's too hard.
Well, that was the fight that I was like, I want to be a fighter. And to be fair, at that time, because of where I was in my military career, now I was a leader. I trained every Tuesday and Thursday. I'd leave work a little early to go train, and I trained on Saturdays and Sundays, and I'd lift weights and stuff like that and run with my platoon and stuff. So I was definitely a part-time fighter. I've always been kind of a part-time fighter because of the military. But I trained 2 structured days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then Saturday and Sunday were just like open mat. I'd find an open mat somewhere and train. So that was kind of if I wasn't in the field, or if I wasn't deployed, or wasn't doing something like that. So, but that fight made me be like, this is what I want to do, which is wild, right? My opponent, undefeated fighter, beat me.
Give up.
He quit. He stopped fighting. He realized, like, wow, this isn't for me. And that's a fight I was like, this is for me. This
I
is
want to
awesome.
do that more.
I mean, my eye was swollen shut. I had,
But
stitches everywhere.
let me tell you something, man. I want to get the war.
Yes.
For real.
Yes.
Like, I'm 4 fights now. I don't fight 5 minutes yet. Even the fight I lost.
Right.
I'm 3-1.
Right.
No, even the fight I lost, I don't fight 1 round. I told I want to get like 2 or 3 more fighters, or look for the fights, try get like quick. But doesn't matter who after that, I will fight 3 rounds. I want to fight 2 rounds. You know what I mean? Like, feel like beating the rounds, how I will react. I want to attach myself on that. That's crazy. I talk to, I tell this a friend, and like, fuck whatever, man. If you can get there and I think the fight in 30 seconds, do it. I'm like, I will do for a couple more, but I want to fight like, taste the blonde. I don't know, crazy.
Yeah, no.
But I think for jumping for the next level, I needed to have that. You know what I mean?
Feel that adversity, and that's what. So I would have still, if I would have won that, say right off the bat, I took him down immediately. He was credentialed a better wrestler than me, better jiu-jitsu player than me. He was bigger than me, stronger than me, probably better striking. Definitely been training longer than I had, but I took him down immediately. And I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, well, I'm about to choke this dude out, and now I'm gonna be 7 or 8-0, whatever it was.
Well, he escaped.
But he like bench pressed me off, and in that moment, I knew I messed up. No, but if that fight wouldn't have happened at that point in my career, I would have still had this ignorance is bliss mindset of like, I can train hard, but I can still drink on the weekends and party with my boys and have it. Because I kind of was. I wasn't taking it as seriously. Mm-hmm. When I trained, I took it seriously. When I was in El Paso, after that first fight, I took it very seriously. But after that, when I kept winning my fights, I'm like, why do I got to put in all this work? I don't have to. I kind of had this mindset of like, I'm strong.
I'm better than
muscle."
these guys, whatever.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what-
I mean, and to be fair, I was choking everyone out in the first round, so I'm like, why not? You know, why do I need to put?
I passed for the same thing.
Yeah.
The fight I lost, I don't. It's for the title on Shogun. I'm like 2-0, but like both the two fights I finished really close,
Right.
really fast. I look the guy record. I'm like, man, can't do it to this guy, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I get sick on the week. My stomach is crazy. I'm like on the bathroom a whole night before. Altogether, get a knockout.
Yeah.
But I learned, man.
Yeah.
I learned. I don't jump.
we were at that.
No,
Yeah.
We were at that.
No, I feel you. So
Yeah.
it's a humbling lesson
Mhm.
to learn that way. For me, you know, in the amateur ranks when that happened, I was like, okay. And then what's really unique is my last amateur fight. I fought for another title. It wasn't for Operation Octagon. It was for a different organization down in Fredericksburg, Virginia, called Barbarian Fight Club. It was like kind of a I don't want to say backyard, but it was a little
Almost.
it was just like mean, tough dudes that looked. I was like borderline just scrappers, you know. What's crazy was my opponent didn't show up for weigh-in. So check this out. Remember my first fight when my opponent, you know, I volunteered. Some dude from the crowd volunteers, raises his hand, says, "I'll fight." And at this point, it's my seventh or eighth fight as an amateur. And this guy, you know, raises his hand. He's real confident, and I'm like, and I'm not gonna lie. In that moment, I'm like, Colton, you were there, you know, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, whenever you first started fighting. Like, don't take this guy for
Right.
granted. And at the time, my coach at the time was like, "Hey, Colton, I want you to stand up in this fight, no takedowns. I want you working your stand
Like,
up."
fuck that shit. They got
Right.
things
Oh,
choking you
well,
out.
I really don't know who this guy is, right? And there's like social media age still, but it's not as big as and it's not as prevalent as it is now. And so
Now it's easy to find the guys.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's,
oh yeah, but I go home and I go to look this dude up and I can't find him. But he was so confident when he raised his hand. You know, I had this really weird feeling. But I told my coach, "Yeah, don't worry, I'll stand up. I'll just bang with this dude in my last amateur fight before I turn pro. I'll just throw down on the feet." And I worked striking at that point, obviously. Well, we get in the cage and I have a full plan. My plan's been the whole time to just strike with this dude and try to knock him out on the feet. And the ref, it's for a title, so the ref pulls us in and the announcer's there or whatever, and he's giving the instructions. Well, the dude like leans over and like digs his dreadlocks into my face and like kind of headbutts me, and I just lose it, and I shove him across the cage, and the ref separates us and is like, "Are you ready? Are you ready? Fight!" And I'm just rage, and I just run across the cage, pick him up, slam him. My coach is screaming at me like, "No!" You know. And bang, 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 choked him out, you know, or TKO, or whatever. I don't even know. Either a choke or TKO in the first round. What's crazy is this dude goes on, and his second, third, and fourth fight, he knocks all three opponents out with hands. You know, this guy, he's a boxer. He has hands. So if I back then, if I would have stood up this dude, I probably would have been a loss on my record. But
or get an award too. Like,
yeah. So and then I ended up fighting for. I ended up getting a call from Rick McCoy from MMA Institute. He was doing the undercard on Showtime for M1 Global, an old Russian organization.
That's a big event back in the day. You know?
No, he was coming to.
I think the one from that is like the guy who managed. Man, what's the Fedor? No,
Yes,
it's the same guy. Yeah.
Same guy. Yep. So they're coming to America for the first time and doing a show at Old Dominion University down wherever in Southern Virginia. And Rick McCoy, MMA Institute, was going to run the undercard. He was in charge of matchmaking the undercard. Well, then he put me on and said, "Hey, will you fight my guy?" So he's having me fight his own guy, Brian Nielsen. And Brian's a good black belt. Brian still competes, high-level black belt. He was undefeated, 8-0 amateur. You know, I was like 6-1, 7-1 as an amateur. He and I probably should have fought as amateurs first. It probably shouldn't have been our pro debuts fighting each other. So we were like the third fight of the night on the Showtime card for M1 Global as my pro debut. And it was
on a nice show with a tough opponent.
It was beautiful with a tough opponent, yeah. And a guy, and I knew what it was. I knew that the matchmaker, it's his coach. Rick is a fair matchmaker, so Rick was putting Brian against a tough guy. But I think as a coach, he probably thought Brian was going to beat me. Brian had better credentials, a higher jiu-jitsu belt than me at the time. He had better striking. He came from an actual MMA gym. I just kind of trained wherever I could, whenever I could. I wasn't really at an MMA gym at the time. And same thing. I came out. I threw 3 jabs in his face. I put him in the corner of the ring. I took him down. I took his back, and I choked him. You know, it was like clockwork. So then now
Next one.
yeah, now my pro debut is starting out like my amateur life did. You know, but I took it seriously. I knew after taking a loss in amateurs, and I knew obviously.
Click, no change, the mind change.
Yeah. And then
I start to work way more
fighting.
on my strike after my last.
Right. Of course.
On the beginning, I'm like, man.
You don't think you need to
My
change
jiu-jitsu, I'm like, I don't think so. These guys can deal with my jiu-jitsu.
World-class jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Maybe my ego helps too, but I'm like, man, if I take these guys down, will take a while to they stop me. But I gotta work on the head. But now I take really serious boxing.
In your weight class, there's not many people in the world that have in MMA that have jiu-jitsu the level you have.
Yeah.
There's not. There's
It's hard to say like by ourselves, but I really believe on that. And then that's.
I think it's the truth though. Look at credentials. Look at your credentials compared to every other heavyweight that fights.
Yeah.
That actually fights, not jiu-jitsu. That actually like does MMA.
It's not much. Yeah.
I mean, they're getting the ones that were there, like Mir, Verdum. They're gone. Like they're retired basically. The guys that
now it's like on one championship is Bochecha, you know.
Yeah, market. Yeah.
But like not the heavyweight, man. I don't.
No.
Now Jailton Malhadinho is good.
Yeah.
He's light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight.
He'll fight next weekend in Brazil. He's from Brazil. I fought jiu-jitsu to him.
Okay.
On brown belt, I finished him, but he's tough. Good jiu-jitsu too. Never competed too much jiu-jitsu, but like you saw what he did on a
Yeah.
You know what we're talking about, Jailton Malhadinho.
Yeah.
He'll fight. I think he'll be like contenders to the title soon.
Yeah.
And he's very small, man, for the heavyweight. Real, he's like maybe 230 to 25.
Yeah.
He's small.
And like the middleweights, you'll have like, you know, your Damian Mayas, and you have your Vinny Magalhães, and you have your guys like that obviously have done amazing things in jiu-jitsu at the highest level like you have. And there was some depth there for a while, but even now I don't feel like a lot of the MMA fighters that are coming up now, they don't have that same jiu-jitsu pedigree.
I feel back in the day, it's easy to the transition, just how jiu-jitsu was taught. You know, now a lot of guys, even big guys, play guard, you know, whatever. I feel my jiu-jitsu style is good for MMA, and I get a good transition. But a lot of guys not gonna get this transition from how the competition on jiu-jitsu is going.
Right.
Now,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Back in the day, man, it's like people play top. Who's
Get
get
on
on bottom?
top,
Like,
stay on top.
get on top, stay on top, take down, smash over and underpass, like pressure.
Yeah.
And my jiu-jitsu kind of like this. I have guard, you know, I pull guard a lot on tournaments too. I survive on battle, you know, get my game on battle, but I prefer be on top.
Yeah.
And that I think that helps my transition a little bit to MMA, you know.
Yeah.
But it's different. I feel it's a different jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I learn it daily, man, with like on MMA, like trends or whatever. I'm like, man, with the gear I can do that. Like on a grapple I can do that. MMA I need to think about this and that. It's different perspective about jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
Jiu-jitsu to MMA.
Right.
You know. Yeah. Cool. And you guys come with the team, no? I saw.
Oh yeah.
You guys did it.
We're gonna win.
Yeah, I like.
What's up? Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, no, I honestly think. One, let me say that PBJJF. We've been very impressed with not only the tournaments but the buzz around it, like what you guys are creating digitally as well.
Thank you.
It's remarkable. I mean, and it's growing. I see more and more people that are jumping on the bandwagon, that are seeing competitors too. I love it. I see all the black belts signing up for this.
I'm excited too, man.
It's gonna
I
keep
want to
growing.
get that more black belts competing.
Yeah, it's going to keep growing. And our schools are you know, we have a lot of people already signed up.
Yeah, DC,
we're gonna get
all
more.
DC you guys like kill, man.
Yeah,
did a good
we
job.
kind of came out of nowhere. Yeah, no one knew we were going to do it. And when we bring, and the thing is like what's unique about our school is, until last week really, we've only been one school. We only pull from one academy, where some other gyms may have multiple academies they pull from. But man, as far as depth of people, like our people that compete at our school, they all medal. Like they all put it. You know, no matter what tournament they go to, they're gonna do well. we may not have the
Yeah.
most competitors, but we probably have, as far as like pound for pound, one of the better schools definitely in the area, and we keep growing.
So I do think I like the energy when you guys go fight.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
crowd. I
Yeah.
like the energy.
Yeah.
Your brother fight with like a big from.
he just got back into jiu-jitsu. He's been a blue belt since
No,
he was-
but man, it's a show for real. They
Yeah.
put a show.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
nice. Everybody yelled. I'm like, that's cool. It's
we,
nice.
we tell our guys, we're like, listen, win or lose, we don't care.
Yeah.
But
And
we want
after
people to
he
know,
did,
hey.
after he did also, he lost that match, but he beat him on the
Yeah.
open
Yeah.
class, and I think he won the open
he
class.
did, yeah. But he's a character.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my little brother. He's a little big brother.
Little big brother, he's big,
bigger
yeah.
than me, but he hasn't competed in jiu-jitsu forever. I think that's only his second jiu-jitsu competition ever.
Nice.
But he grew up wrestling, and then he got away from jiu-jitsu because he joined the army. So he's been out of jiu-jitsu forever. But he's one of those like childhood. He got his blue belt as a kid, and then quit because of the army, and then just got back into it. But he'll be a handful. He's gonna sign up for 4 divisions again at this.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
he's getting his jiu-jitsu is now getting better. He's not just a wrestler, and he's strong, obviously. But he also is in the ultra heavyweight division. He was going against some big
Some
boys.
big boys, yeah. Man.
But it's good though. I'm proud.
I have that feeling when I grew up in jiu-jitsu. Now, my first tournament I fight in adult division. I'm like 15 years old, and I fight in a middleweight. And like every year I jump in one division. Next year, middle heavy, super heavy.
Yeah,
But when I get in the ultra heavy, man, I feel the difference on size.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
because I'm like, I always hated cut weight, especially for jiu-jitsu, because we fight on the same day now. And the first time I fight an ultra heavy, man, I fight with like a good big guy, big guy, like maybe like 50 pounds heavier than me. I fight head bad all the time with him. Like 1 minute to finish. I'm like, man, go pull this guy guard. I pull guard, he get in half guard. I'm like, man, oh my god. Like, but I get he off balance on my half guard. It's like one advantage to him. I almost come up, boom. We stand up, 2 advantage. Heifer give to me the fight. I'm like, yes. But I remember how hard to fight with that big guy. Like, bro, I need to eat more, lift you, and I'm gonna go there. I'll be strong. But that's a hard feeling fight with this guy.
I saw the pictures you've shared recently of like your time hop photos on Facebook, and I saw photos you post and like
I'm tiny, small.
I was like Max looks like
Yeah.
like my weight.
Yeah, and then that's why I'm young. Time if we start fighting the ultra heavy, and then like, man, maybe I can cut weight a little bit. Let me start eating a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I fought in 2 to my black belt on the super heavy. But I'm tall. No, I'm tall, and like to make like below 220, I'm looking very small. When I'm like,
What do you walk at?
now 265 to
Oh,
60,
nice,
yeah, like normal like that. But
perfect.
when I go fight, I like to fight around 250.
Okay.
I feel like 250, I'm
Fast,
fast
yeah.
and still very strong, Just if I start training a little bit more, boom, the weight go down to 250 and I maintain that,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's hard, just, I don't know, every year jump 5 pounds.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I hope I keep on this because I don't want to need to cut weight to fight on a heavy division, no.
Hey, you want to give some diet tips, Rich?
Yeah. You know what? I don't know my diet. Yeah.
You want to know what this guy eats? So I have a 5-year-old daughter, Dakota.
He eat
and,
the same thing there.
he-
Nuggets.
He eats.
Uncrustable every morning.
You
Uncrustables,
know those
the
peanut butter and jelly like
billion.
uncrustable things that are
Frozen
in a
one.
package.
Uh-huh.
But what's funny is he's very regimented, but he eats like
Every morning.
people meal prep. Like they eat the same thing. They're real regimented. Well, he eats like fruit snacks. Or well, one of our fighters was like, "Hey, coach, do you eat fruit?" He's like, "I eat fruit snacks." Fruit snacks, uncrustables.
Applesauce, yogurt. I eat like probably a middle schooler eats.
Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah.
How we maintain skin, man.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that
Yeah,
wild?
that's crazy.
Yeah, because you compete at medium heavy forever.
For the longest I was.
Because he didn't want to cut no weight or
That's
nothing.
genetic sometimes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
Yeah, medium heavy. Now you're competing medium.
Mostly middle, yeah, mostly middle.
So he did the ADCCs at middle, and then he's done the last couple IBJJFs at
Middle,
at
yeah.
middle, and then he's doing PBJJF.
One of each. no gi middle, medium heavy for the gi.
Just so you get opponents.
Just because I wanted to do two
Yeah.
different guys, because
Got it.
there's not a lot of guys my age usually that compete. So it's like,
Yeah.
Cool.
which is what I liked about this one coming up, how there were so many black belts signed up. Usually if I do a local tournament, it's going to be against, you know, the 30
Young guys,
the
yeah.
younger guys, which is fine too. It's great. But it's kind of nice having such a diverse group now.
Yeah, man. I wanna like,
Right there.
I want more black belts competed. That's what I'm looking for. I tell like
I think after this,
Yeah,
I
my-
think it's going to keep blowing up.
That's
What you guys
my-
are doing digitally,
this
I,
good.
I really think that it's going to.
Pushing more, yeah. But that's the thing. I told JP, we need to make the guys feel the professionalism on our area here now. You know, we don't have like these events coming here, do their job and leaving. We from here. Let's make our champions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's make our people getting through, like from even like from the white belts. And at one point they will be our black belts.
Yeah.
And they grow up in the federation. And I mean
right.
that I don't know. That's my mindset.
Yeah.
JP on the semi track too. You guys met JP, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice guy.
He's usually here with you, right?
Yeah, he always here on the podcast with me, but like today he have like some problems. He can't coming, but yeah, we're in the same track, and that's where our vision spotlight for our fighters, for our local people,
Yeah.
for the champions or whatever. If people come from outside,
Yeah.
they're winning, he go get the spotlight, you know. But I feel this is good to connect it to,
Oh, yeah.
you know, we know better each other.
Because
Like,
there's a lot of talent in the
The
area.
DMV has some talent.
and no spotlight. All the
Right.
spotlights from you guys know the media, Florida and Texas now.
Yeah.
Special Texas now
Yeah,
because
Florida,
like,
Texas, San Diego. That's about
yeah,
it.
and then Don looks like no more jiu-jitsu
Yeah, right.
on the USA, but no, the MVR has a lot of champions.
That's right.
Very underrated.
Man, a lot of black belts like what his name, like featherweight from Team Lloyd Irving.
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
And the one that just won the 80cc's.
That kid, yeah, the big brag fashion, his name on
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah, that
He
is,
just won the trials,
Yeah.
you know, from here for a jiu-jitsu schools, not for like a
And he-
grapple school. Because like now the most successful guys
Yeah.
on like DCC, I feel like the guys only doing no gear. Man, he do gear whole year,
Oh yeah.
take his gear for a couple months, boom, jump in the trials.
Yeah.
I mean, look
Won
at the
the
depth
trial.
some of these schools have. Like Crazy 88 has depth. Team Lloyd Irvin has depth. You know,
Yeah.
even down into Virginia, just all the teams, even down by Virginia Beach. I mean, there's so much jujitsu in this area now. I love it. I mean, it's blowing up. I mean, there's gyms popping up everywhere. Muhammad Ali has that.
Muhammad
awesome gym.
just open his school
Yeah.
and back it. We're friendly, you know. We try,
Yeah.
man. I don't talk about COVID, you know. On the COVID, I fought the Pan Ams right away when they come back in 2020, and I have no much training. I call him. I'm like, hey man, I want to fight this event. You know, we fight a lot. Me and he, since we purple belt,
Yeah.
we always back to back.
Yeah.
He win, I win. He win, I win. He win, I win. But we always friend, you know. But we never train
Yeah.
together. Like, do you know when you do something you don't want to do?
Right.
Like, fuck, I want to call him, but it will be a war every day. And they call him, and we start to match up in a school with my friend Alexandre teaching, and me and he, Alexandre, Ricardo, and JP. 5 guys, man, train together on the
That's
COVID time. But all black belts. JP is the small guy on the road. JP always like, hey guys, play guard. Fuck this shit. And I gotta do stand up with you guys. But like, it's
Yeah,
good.
during COVID, we were at Lloyd's fighter house. Like Lloyd has a fighter house in Maryland, and we had mats out
In the driveway.
out in the driveway. It was a matted out garage. There's so many people there, and you had Tim Spriggs, you had Muhammad there, you
Yeah.
had all these big names, and it started raining, and they just kept rolling. You know,
You guys keep it
We
rolling.
just kept- it was
raining.
crazy.
But
Yeah,
it was
that's
raining, but
cool.
it was like 100
it was
degrees.
so hot. It was such a good time.
Summer.
Yeah, Sadiq was getting ready for a fight, so I was up there helping Sadiq out at the time. Just being an extra body for everybody, but I was able to roll with everybody, and it's just, but like that mindset, during COVID, we're still getting it in. It might be in a house, in a garage, but it was storming. They were still getting it. Everybody was awesome too. Everyone, and Muhammad's a great guy.
He's a great guy,
I've
yeah.
rolled with him a
And
few
we
times.
trained together. And me and he talk about opening school since that time. Like, no man, I plan doing that. I'm planning doing that. And we open most at the same time. That's
Yeah.
pretty how the life going now.
But where's his school at?
My school,
His school.
his school, what?
Muhammad's school. Where's
Where is on? It's in Virginia for sure.
Okay.
but I don't remember.
It was in Alexandria.
Alexander, yeah,
Yeah,
Alexander.
Okay, I was
Alexander.
wondering where his school was because they were that last PBJJF, the DC Open, we got first in Nogi,
Yeah,
and they got second.
They were
but,
right behind
but
us.
they
It
were
came down
like,
to the last
it
match.
came down to one match. And I had no,
Yeah.
and at the time I had no clue. I was like, "Who are these guys?"
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah.
So I looked him up, and I'm like, "Oh, it's Muhammad's school."
Muhammad,
Oh,
as well.
shit.
No wonder they're
Yeah, no
out
wonder.
here,
Yeah, they have
killing it.
good jujitsu.
They got good guys, yeah. And yeah, we trained together for this event, you know, only myself, but me and Ricardo competed, and we both won. He won a master division and one in the adult division. I'm like, yeah, man, it's good camp.
Being able to
Did
train
a
like
good
that,
camp,
yeah.
a lot of good training. But man, every day I wake up with the training was 9 a.m. I wake up. So, not the day. But always like it's a war, you know, and especially because the trainer was like looking for me and Ricardo.
Yeah.
The guys there like to help us on a camp, you know what I mean? It's like always tough rounds, like, okay, 3 rounds back to back with the fresh guys.
Yeah.
What's next for you, jujitsu wise? Do you have anything jujitsu coming
Yeah,
up?
if I'll fight in December, I'm not gonna fight the Worlds, no gear.
Okay.
But like, yeah, maybe I'll fight the Worlds in no gear if I don't fight in December.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to keep busy, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the goals. It's hard to keep competing on.
Yeah.
Keeping competing jiu-jitsu,
While you're trying to fight.
fight MMA, run the school, PBJJF.
Yeah.
When I go fight outside, JP get mad at me, you know. You're going to concurrence, motherfucker. And then I gotta keep busy. Sorry.
No, I feel
But yeah, I fought the Master Awards 2 months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I won double gold there.
Oh,
my
okay.
first Master
Awesome.
Award. It's fun. It's good. It's different. I mean, 60 minutes pass so fast. When you like it,
yeah.
compare
yeah,
that
yeah.
10 minutes rack and you go change for 60 minutes, man, that 4 minutes make a lot of difference. A lot of difference. Especially because my jiu-jitsu kind of like progressive,
Yeah.
you know, stand up, take it down,
Yeah.
put war, boom, but always like progress. 6 minutes, sometimes you don't have time enough to
Yeah.
get in the position you wanted, you know.
yeah.
But I got a good strategy. I'm like, okay, 6 minutes, I'll try starting in the front and keeping my points in front. If I get in the submission point, good. If I don't, I'm ahead on points. Still.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah. That time gets quick.
That's what I did. But 10 minutes, you can chill more,
Yeah.
you know, and there's more time to building your submission.
Yeah.
I think on that tournament I did 6 match. I tapped 2 guys only, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And normally my track a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But tough fights, man. Tough fights.
Yes.
Not easy. Like a couple guys like, oh, Marshall, fuck that's it.
I
It's
tell
hard.
people that all the time. I'm like, they're like, oh, I'm excited. I'm gonna be master this, master that, master this, and I'm like,
Nothing
it
changed,
doesn't
man.
get easier.
Just
Like,
the time, for real.
yeah.
I feel just the time. I fight with the guys that fought the whole my life too.
Right.
Like, I fought with these guys when I'm like a teenager, and I fight on the master,
Yeah.
on the master competition. The only difference is the time.
When
Yeah.
they've been black belts that long, they are so good at what they're, you know, their game. They are so precise with that, and their defense is
It's good.
is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I find in the masters division, like the black belts. I'm like, these guys have impact. They may be a little bit slower than some of the adults. I'd almost go against some of the faster paced guys because they don't have as good defense.
Yeah.
They leave openings because they're using explosiveness and speed and athleticism. Whereas some of these masters, black belts, these guys are like slow and methodical, and they're like a cobra about to strike, and they, you know, and what they're good at, they're so good.
But
at.
the game was very specific too. I feel
Yeah.
that, like you say,
They
like
can game.
everybody got a game.
Yeah.
Especially 6 minutes, they can game the hell out of 6 minutes if they know how to get an advantage or.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
One match, I won because of like a tiny foot sweep, man. My second match, the guy have like a tough half guard, you know. I'm like, man, go pull this guy first, sweep here. But no, you know, like when you lost the time and he already like he start to pull guard, I'm like, for real.
Time it. Yeah.
I just kick him, you know. I'm like, pow, kick him, and he fall the half or 2.
Like,
Yeah, but I be like 5 minutes on top of his off guard, just like I'm like, I can get so I can get that 5 minutes. And no worries, I beat him by 2 points and that advance on the bracket. But stop,
Like,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, thanks, done. Thanks in 60 minutes, maybe 10 if he gotta get the sweep. You know, like I hate with these guys doing like big guys start doing half guards like twisted the knee.
Yeah,
It's hard to deal with them and with the big body, you know.
Yeah.
Like twisted knee. I'm like, God damn it, man, leave my knee alone. And that's he's not 100% healthy. We don't do this so long. It's hard to get the both knees healthy forever. And he like twisting my knee. I'm like, good match. Good memories. But yeah, guys, excited. Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
you know, really
for
good.
having
Good
us.
to know more about you guys' background, Easter, you know. Thank you for the support in the tournament. You guys killing the DC, coming strong in the PBJJF awards. You know, that's our first awards. Get a nice medal, belt for the open class. We're gonna do the finals on the largest mat you guys ever saw.
Nice.
It'll go be
Yeah.
really large. No way to run away. I get mad sometimes. I want to fight sometimes. I want to go
Yeah.
something. But big match, I feel that's good for safely too, you know, and like make the show on the match.
Yeah.
Don't go outside, stop back in.
Yeah.
Does make the difference. And one day I wanna get whole finals like that for black belt. I hope one day we can be able to do that. Maybe on Sunday, you know, when like IBJJF they do like the semifinals, quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals on the Sunday for black belts. One day, if you grow enough, I want to do that, you know.
Yeah.
But a large match, it will be cool. We got a good plans. We appreciate the support, you know. Really appreciate the support. Without you guys, impossible. But I'll tell everybody, without the instructor, the fighters, it's harder to do that, you know. Good.
We appreciate you guys. And just real quick, we're huge proponents of like cross training and stuff. So I know a lot of different schools are probably listening in, but anytime anyone wants to come train, our door is always open and
Cool.
And
Yeah, regardless of affiliation, wear whatever gi you want to wear, whatever rash guard. Come train. Anybody's welcome.
Stop by and get some good rolls now.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
the
we got
idea.
some. We got some tough guys that don't even compete that are just monsters on the
You
mat.
guys doing open matches like you?
3 times a week
Yeah,
we got
3
open
times a week.
mats. We got Wednesday night we have open mats, and Saturday, Sunday there's an open mat.
Nice.
And our Sunday open mat is at 2 p.m. Our Saturday open mat's at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m., 2 p.m. on Sunday.
yeah, we're always willing to.
Hey, I like cross training a lot too, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'll try to stop by one day.
Yeah,
I have you guys have a purple belt now. I forgot his name, but he just messaged me a couple of days ago. He's like, hey, I want to get a private to learn. Yeah. I just told him, he like, man, sorry, I'm super busy now. I have like no time, but soon I get some time. We try set up.
Yeah, he's very,
Isaiah's a
very
lunatic. He's
passionate.
great.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's great. He's extremely.
He competed a couple of days ago. He told me he would come for awards too.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah,
he-
He's competing. Yeah, we got some studs that haven't competed in a while too that are coming, purple and brown belts.
Yeah.
That are they're monsters. Yeah.
He stopped by one day there, and I'm not there. I'm so sorry for him. Like, I was travel, and like, come stop by to visit. But he got a good rounds with it. I got a blue belt now. He's the fastest blue belt I ever promoted in my life.
Yeah. Nice.
Like he's master, but he always compete on the adult division here in the area. Man, in 10 months, he lost 2 fights only.
Wow.
I bring him to like he competed all the PBJFs, most of the tournaments. Like and these fights he lost, I signed up here on the ultra heavy division because there's nobody on the heavy, and he won one fight, lost another one, go for the third black brackets to the third person. He lost, and you're like, I don't fight on this bracket anymore. Fuck that. Like, that's fine. But he won a lot of tournaments locally, and I bring him to New York Open.
Nice.
3 fights, 3 arm bars.
Yeah.
I bring him to Las Vegas, 3 fights, 3 arm bars. I'm like, man, this guy deserves the blue belt.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Man, like 90 months I promoted, he was a blue belt. That's the fastest guy I ever promoted.
That's
I told him,
awesome.
like,
Yeah.
he go fight this weekend on Fight to Win. I'm excited like
Yeah.
for the progress, you know. 1 year. How long you guys open already? This school.
2.5 years at our
2.5.
location right now. Yeah.
3.5 total.
3.5 total.
I've got the COVID, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.5 total. But yeah, 2.5 where we're at our location currently. Yeah,
Cool.
it's blowing up. Yeah, we're at the point now. We got about a 5,000 square foot warehouse, so it's big, tall ceilings.
Nice,
but
yeah.
we're at a point where there's we're so packed.
I get a big space right away, man. I'm a little
Yeah,
bit crazy. On the beginning,
that's
I'm
smart.
like, I get like a 6,000 square feet, 2 matches, man, huge space, and like 0 students. I'm like,
We were nervous. We were nervous.
Yeah.
We got the big spot. We were nervous. Same thing.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like you need decks. I didn't want to outgrow the
You wanna
space.
keep moving, yeah.
that's my idea. When I did the business plan with my business partner, you know, I'm like, man, I don't want to get a small space. I know we go grow.
Right.
I trust on my work, you know, we go put the job. I know we go grow. And in 1 year, you need to move. Then move.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, let's get the large space and maybe invest a little bit more now in the beginner and stay there longer, you know. And it works now. Like, we're almost like 150 students.
Yeah.
10 months. Like,
That's great.
I'm not mad with the space, you know. Like,
Yeah.
it's good. I hope like can cross 200 and look better at
That's right.
300 and keep it growing.
That's right.
It's hard, man. Running school is hard. I always think it's easier.
And
Yeah.
being a competitor too,
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff I didn't realize. You know, you're a life counselor, you're a janitor.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different personalities you have to deal with. You know, especially when you get closer with your students.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been interesting, especially with having the jobs on the outside too, plus families, and you know, our
And you guys will
Luckily,
keep
our-
work for
our
how
lives-
long, man?
Yeah,
go do jiu-jitsu for
well,
for
I
full time now.
retire in 2 years, so
Good, good.
I'll be fully retired from the
Nice.
military in about 2 years. And he actually came to me
Yeah.
one day, and he's like, "I quit."
Yeah. It's like I'm quitting work.
He
So
quit
now,
work.
now I do the gym
Full time. That's good, man.
But luckily, we got some sugar mamas.
Yeah.
Yeah, good,
He and
good
I
for
are,
you
he and I are
guys.
very lucky, and they both trained
Very
too.
supportive
Nice.
too.
Yeah, they both trained.
Good,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Samantha,
I'm happy to my
Teresa.
wife get sticker on jiu-jitsu too. You
Yeah.
know? She like say like, I never competed. But she train a lot. Like she go compete tomorrow. Do you understand?
Right,
I'm like
yeah.
that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. No, we got lucky. Very supportive spouses. So makes it all possible.
Yeah,
to-
that's
to
cool.
put our time in.
We're lucky. But yeah, I'll retire. I'll retire fully from the military in about a year and a half, and then I can really focus on not only the school but my
Affiliation
competitions and
too.
stuff like that.
Competition. Yeah.
And
You guys think about
coaching.
like open more schools or like
We just
affiliation?
did last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just
Like affiliation or another school from you guys?
Well,
yeah.
no, yeah. So it's another school for us, but it's we partnered with a school out in Southern Maryland in Bryan's Roads, Maryland. So Mike and Tara Pagano, she fights for Bellator, or she's a former Bellator fighter. He's a former pro fighter. He's an awesome black belt. She's an awesome purple belt. And they ran an academy for a long time and didn't really have an affiliation. So they opened up and listed 9 Fight Company in Maryland. So we're enlisted 9 Fight Company in Virginia, and we just had their grand opening last weekend.
Nice. Congrats.
And they already have
Thank you.
students. They already have. It's already blown up. And it's
Southern,
southern.
good
Southern
for the
Maryland.
company, no
Oh, yeah.
good for the
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
too. On the competition wide, it's still
Oh, yeah.
like get more.
More exposure, more
I'm very
competitors.
excited about that.
Yeah.
Having 2 schools to pull from now, where a lot of these other schools they've had that and they've been around for 15, 20 years in this area. It's hard to compete with that sometimes. So us having multiple locations to pull from, yeah, we're gonna keep growing too.
And having a location, I think in Maryland was important. You know, we have one in Virginia that's thriving and doing well. So to have one in Maryland now, because you know we want to expand pretty much
That's the way to
anywhere.
do,
But yeah,
yeah.
to have another one directly in the DMV, I think was
Yeah, I was
big.
thinking about that too. I connect with like my coach, MMA coach too, is Eddie from Metodo, you know, and now we represent the same team, Jeff team, you know. Like I signed the black belts, everything was there from here. And that's cool. I'm excited for that partnership too, and
Oh, yeah.
try to keep it growing.
Mm-hmm.
The team they are here, but I feel like open affiliations is the way to spend
Yeah.
the brand. That's like
Yeah.
more people go hear about the school, more
Yeah.
people, like, and it's benefit to all the locations, you know, all
Right.
the locations.
They're gonna feed off each other.
Yeah, that's cool. Good job, guys. Thanks so
Appreciate
much.
it. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you
Thank
guys
you, thank
coming
you.
here.
Appreciate you.
That's awesome. Let me turn off again.